in our sessions, at least, what we started with is we started with the personal stuff, and then we moved to the professional stuff. And so, for example, my mother died when I was 10, and you and I talked about that in the first call. And there were some things that I needed to work on before I could be professionally successful. I had to get my personal life squared away. So talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about when you're coaching somebody and trying to get them better professionally, why you start with getting your personal house in order.
Everything in this outside world starts from the inner world. If your inner world is not at peace, if your inner world is not in what I call a state of grace, what you create outer, it mirror what the inner world is. Within the inner world, I wrote a book with Dr. Deepak Chopra, Jack Canfield, and Dr. Dennis Whitley. My portion of that book was, what are the stepping stones to success? And I break it down into 4 P: purpose, pain, passion, and priority. Every human being, every soul that comes to this earth have a purpose. Most of us go through life, don't know what that is. Our purpose don't have to be like Muhammad Gandhi or be like Mother Teresa. You doing the podcast is part of your purpose. This is your number 9 and you love it, you enjoy it. And I know without a fact, one listener or more at least are going to be touched by what you do. That's part of the purpose. So if you want to read more on that, Simon Sinek's got a book called The Power of Why, or that's a wonderful book for you to understand why do you do what you do. So that's purpose. Passion. Most of us have passion inside us that hasn't been released. That's why a lot of time, a lot of people go through what I call midlife crisis. Why? We're all spiritual being having a human experience, not human being having a spiritual experience. Who is talking now? Who is listening now? It's a spirit. That spirit, that essence can never ever die. As a spirit, each of us comes to this earth for certain things. One of them is how to live a purposeful life. What is that? What's the passion? What is it that you love, that you wanted to do? Lots of people say, I want to write a book, I want to travel this, but most people never actually do it. So we have purpose, we have passion, we have pain. There was some residual amount of things with your mother's passing that you were still hanging on. We all have that somewhere. If you don't figure out a way to look at it with the right perspective or lens, that glasses that you wear actually hold you back. So as you clean and cleanse these 3 P's, it allows you to see, respond to the world very differently. And the last one is what I call priorities. With so many things coming toward us every single day, so many stimulus. Remember, every message you read, everything you hear, you have to process it. If you don't find a way to prioritize or calm your mind, which is what mindfulness is, you are constantly thinking, reacting, and always trying to figure out how to deal with all this stimulus. And that's why most people living this life today are getting very stressed. You add the pandemic on top of that, and their future and all those thoughts, well, you've got the recipe for a lot of people mentally, emotionally are struggling during this time.
You were talking about purpose, and it reminded me of the story. I think it was about, there were 3 bricklayers and they were building a church, and they asked the first bricklayer, what are you doing? And he said, I'm laying bricks. And they asked the second bricklayer, what are you doing? And he said, I'm building a building. And they asked the third bricklayer, what are you doing? And he said, I'm building a house to worship the Lord God for the next 500 years. Who do you think had real purpose in their life? Who do you think was really enjoying their jobs